Twitter. YouTube. What happened to Twitch? Oh, there. Wait, that's Twitter. I'm like live on two Twitter streams. Unable to connect to Twitch. Why? Unable to connect. Check that later. Okay. I think because I'm already Twitch. Morning, Marcus. Randy says hard to stay away from day trading with all these great wins, but I will stand fast. Well, yeah. I mean, great wins. There's also losers too. Um, it's been going good. It's been going good the last few weeks. Uh, there have been some really big wins. The big wins help offset any losses, but there are periods where the big wins aren't there. It's sort of like when the cards go dead in poker, and you have a bad run. And so there can be a month or two or three or four of drought. So, there's no free lunches. Pick something, stick to it, figure out if that's the style that matches you and your lifestyle and what you want to do in trading. I mean, do you really want to? I mean, when it comes to this day trading stuff, you get pretty locked into your desk, and ideally from pre-market, so 7 a.m. and it can go. Believe it or not, it you should the better you'll do, you'll do even better if you're locked in until like the close of after hours, 8 p.m. I will get my win fixed for now. What happened, Randy? Tuesday? Explain that. Poker. Yeah. So, it's not all rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. Just remember that. Um, Tuesday. Oh, that happened Tuesday night poker game. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You mean you did well or you did poorly? Yeah. Did you know I was a professional poker player for 2 years? The only reason I left it was because I realized that there was no passive income in it, that I couldn't be making money unless I was sitting my ass in a chair. Oh, you're only making money when you're sitting your ass in a chair when it comes to poker playing, unless you're staking people, then you have a business. But I'm more of a businessman, entrepreneur, and I can't do that. I have to have passive income. So after 2 years, I just said, this is, thank God it was only 2 years. You know, maybe others, it could have taken 5, 10, 20 years before they realize, you know what? I can't keep sitting here. Good morning, Rusty. I did net ahead, but the whole net, it was not great. I did 100K the first year, which was great because your first year you'd think you wouldn't be too good. And then I did 60K the next year. That was net. So, and I probably could have did much better the following year than 60K. It's up and down. But yeah, I think there was like a 8 month period of bad breaks in the cards. I tracked every hand. I have over 5 million hands tracked, logged, and you can examine it and you can see your profit curve and everything. And you can see where things, aren't happening, and you can review every hand you've ever played. And I do that. I do that at the end of every day. I would analyze at the end of every week, and I go back and I did perfectly fine. That's just the way the cards break sometimes. I didn't have stupid moments. That's what happens when you play poker. At first up 100%, at end down 75%. Yeah, it was very. Okay, okay. Well, the publicized parts. Well, okay. Whatever you can find on the internet. Yeah, believe that. That's wild. I stay away from the casinos because I'll just get bored and sit at a slot machine. So before I became a professional poker player, I'd go to Vegas and I mean, I already knew I had heard that the house is rigged against you, so don't get too invested in it, right? So when I went to Vegas, I'd go there for the fun, but not for the gambling. And then I'd sit down, I'd play some roulette for an hour or two. I'd play some blackjack for an hour or two. And that's, uh, everybody does that, but I was probably even less active on the gambling side than most people. Um, but I just did it and I understood it was gambling, and I never looked into the math, right? Then when I became a professional poker player, in order to become professional, I mean, you really must know all the math. It's all probability and statistics. And it's at that moment that I realized, uh, at roulette on double zero games, you can get close to 98.7% odds, uh, which means the house is taking my 1.3% of your money in the long run. But all the games, there's no, some of the best games are like that, but almost all the other games have 10, 20, 30% take on the probabilities. Once I learned that, I just it just sucked all the fun, out of once you know the math behind all that, it just sucks all the fun out of it. Because you go to the table and you realize every action and everything that you're doing and everything that's going on is part of a probability spectrum, and that unless you make all the optimum decisions with everything that goes on, you're not even going to get the best probable result, which is that the house takes a couple of percent of your money in the long run. You're going to get worse than that. Hey, Rusty, you're back and forth. Uh, then I would go to Vegas and I would just maybe I would never. I can't even remember after I became a professional poker player. I can't even remember playing craps, roulette, black. I've sat down with for blackjack just to grab some drinks with the wife, and even then, right before that, like I'd brush up on blackjack theory really quickly. Like it just wasn't fun, I'd make sure I could sit there for 30 minutes to 45 minutes and have some drinks, and I would play, optimum perfect blackjack. But I knew I was losing. I knew I was going to lose money. You don't win in the long run. So then, you know, I became professional poker player, and I would play in Vegas, if anything, at the poker tables. I would sit at the poker tables. I would sit at like 2,000 no limit, or I'd even play limit. Limit's a very kind of slower way to play, and for that, I would get the poker rate, which is cool. If you're a professional poker player, you call ahead, you get on their list, and you get the professional poker player rate at whatever hotel it is. And I always stayed at Bellagio. So Bellagio, it's like three, four, $500 a night. I get the poker rate, $97 a night. It was pretty fucking awesome. So there's that. That was nice. I used to live in LA and we'd drive out to Vegas and we'd stay at the Bellagio, and when we were there, we'd do nothing. We'd do no gambling. We'd play poker. At most, I put a couple hours in. Eventually I put a couple hours in. And I wasn't, once I stopped playing professionally, after that, I was still on the list. Eventually, I would just go to Vegas. I would just sit and we'd enjoy the pool and walking around and cool Vegas stuff and shopping, and no gambling. There's no gambling. You just do stuff. You just do the other stuff. So, yeah, and that's just the way it is. And so, yeah, I realized I wouldn't make money if unless I was putting my ass in a chair, and quit cold turkey pretty much. Uh, now mm, There was some years later, I moved to the another island in the Caribbean. I was living on another island in the Caribbean with my wife, and they had a poker tournament, and I'm like, that's cool because it's in the middle. It was middle of nowhere, nothing I was familiar with, and they had a poker tournament on the island. I was like, oh shit, that'll be fun. So I go in and I'll buy in, and I was years, away from my skill level. I wasn't brushed up, but I remembered most. I don't have a good memory. You guys know that. I remember most of the rules, what to fold in what situations and stuff, but not all, but pretty good. And there was about 60 people that joined that poker tournament. I got to the final table and I got kicked out in third place. But I pretty much did nothing wrong. It was just that's the way the cards break. But it just goes to show that, and that was without brushing up and being sharp. It just goes to show, I mean, but whatever. Anyway, most people that join that tournament join for fun. I was serious. You can't be serious anymore. You can't have fun anymore once you get serious at that stuff. So I recommend that you don't get good at poker if you want to enjoy it. I have another friend who started to get into poker. He's always been playing. He lives in Jersey. He goes to all the casinos out there and stuff. He started to get into poker. He knew I was a professional poker player and said, "Hey, I want some advice from you." So I started giving him advice on how to become a professional poker player and all the different things you got to study and think of. He got to the point where he said, "I fucking hate this game now. So I don't enjoy it. I just sit there. I'm squeaking out a little bit of money, for whatever, because it's a long run kind of game. But the bad beats kill me mentally, because in poker, it's much worse than like say chess. Uh, you get beat bad, even if your skill level is very high. Just the cards just crack that way. And he quit. He doesn't play poker anymore. He doesn't even like the game anymore. So, and that's what happens. So I recommend if you want to enjoy something, don't learn how to get good at it. Because then you become a professional and then it's no fun anymore. And that goes with trading too. It depends on but the thing is, you could never uh take the enjoyment of making money away from me. That's, trading is a lot bit more forgiving than everything else. The only thing is that probably chess is the most meritocratic. Um, Chess is probably the most meritocratic thing you could do because like I play tennis also in billiards and I've competed in all those. And with chess, if you're very good, then you do well. You get what your skill level is at. You get the results for what your skill level is at. But by God, there are just fucking geniuses out there. It's like the best I could ever get at chess. I mean, I admit it is probably about 2000 ELO. And there's probably 10,000, 2,000 ELO players in the entire world, which is a great accomplishment if I could get there. I'm at 1100 now, and I play at about an 1850 level at times. But once I'm there, what am I going to do? Like, you can't make money unless you're the top 20 in chess, playing tournaments, getting sponsorships. You see what I mean? So, just enjoy the thing. It's important. Yeah, I'm going to New York City at the end of the month, and if anybody's in that area, New York City through Boston, Connecticut, New Hampshire, that whole area there, and you're going to be out that way, yeah, let's grab a slice of pizza or something. I'll see you there. All right. So this morning I already checked on a couple different stocks that have popped, and I'm going to talk about them right now and CPI, which was very interesting. And I'm watching it while we talk, and we're going to talk about that in 1 second. I'm going to go live on TikTok, and then we're going to talk all about it. My opinion on that. I was going to try and fly into Miami and then drive my way all the way up to Massachusetts, I mean Maine, visiting everything for like 3 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks, and then fly back from Maine. But the whole thing became like cost prohibitive because mainly I think the way to do that would have been to get a really cool RV camper. And we eventually decided against that because you can't really get a good rate on those. People try to ream you with all the insurance and everything you got to get. It just doesn't work out. So we're gonna do a week and a half in New York City, Boston thing. Okay, here we go. I've got the TikTok lined up, and we're gonna talk about stuff. Metric. Okay, there we go. Going live. So how's everybody doing today? Yesterday was the Independence Day for Bahamas here. So they had fireworks and celebration and stuff. Of course, we did the 4th of July here too for the United States independence. Whatever country you're in, whenever your independence is, well, happy Independence Day to you. A stunning move on Tesla from the 207 buy. What's going on here on Tesla? Is Tesla still doing, still ripping? Yeah, it's doing fine. All right. So CPI data came out. Let's talk about that real quick. And we had a really positive reaction and spike. Rates are moving down. I would trust that. The VIX moved up, down rather. I would trust that. But the thing that's throwing my mind through the loop, and oil went down, is gold went up. Gold went up. Man, everybody's gonna try and make sense of this stuff. Gold went up. We gotta figure that one out.